Hello and welcome to episode 137 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is, how do you charge more and work less?
Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Linh.
Now, before you get into the assumption that I'm about to tell you about working on the beach, sipping martinis and cocktails and not doing any work, don't get me wrong. This podcast episode is about working intelligently. It's about delivering massive amount of value, and ultimately it's about working smarter and harder together to achieve the results that you want inside of your business and ultimately your life. Now, this concept is a concept of charging more for your time, right? Charging way more for your time, working with less clients, but actually helping way more people. And the concept arose to me a few years ago when I first remember starting out my online personal training business. I was training guys and I was handling spreadsheets. So I was writing up all of their programs on an Excel file. I was using Google Sheets at the time, which was super cool because they could get it and I could adjust it and they could edit it and input it as we go along. And I would be sending them emails and I'd be catching up for a call with them once a week on Skype or over the phone. And for me, that, working with a handful of clients at that time, I soon figured out that online personal training, if I did it this way, it was going to be a very, very long, hard road. And not only that, but my income would have suffered, because when I worked out and I calculated what my income was, what my hourly rate was, I was earning $22.40 an hour when I calculated the amount of time I had to spend on Skype, my emails, text messages, all the miscellaneous stuff that you need to do for 10 clients that I was charging $150 a week for. Now, soon after, I discovered, okay, number one, this isn't going to work for me. The second thing I discovered was, how do I actually scale this? How do I grow? And a big goal for me was, how do I build a $10,000 a month business consistently? Like, not automated, but how do I have that consistency and certainty so that I know every single month I'm going to have that income? And the first secret, the first step to charging more, working less, is to become a specialist, okay? Now, most personal trainers, most online coaches out there are a way to really, really penetrate the market at any level. Like, if you want to be heard, right, you need to be so unique. You need to be working with a segment of the marketplace that's so unique, and you need to have a unique message. And I talk about this a lot of the times. It's the difference between being a GP versus a surgeon. It's the difference between getting paid as a strength coach versus a personal trainer. You need to specialize in something, and you need to be the best in the field. And you don't have to be the best when you first start out, but you need to move and you need to continually grow to become the best. And that's the first step. The second step is making the decision of what your one-to-one prices are, making the decision of what your hourly rate then becomes. Okay, for me, I've made the decision. I'm not going to work with somebody unless they pay me X amount. And for you, that might be, I'm not going to work with somebody unless they pay me $100 an hour. I'm not going to work with somebody unless they pay me $500 an hour. If you want to go to the ultimate extreme, you might go $10,000 an hour. But the reality is then, how do you make money? How do you make money? Because ultimately, you might not have, anybody pay you $10,000 an hour yet. And that's the reality. People aren't going to pay you that much when you're starting out. No one knows who you are. When you become really awesome, then yes, then that's a possibility. Then there's a chance of that happening. So the question is, how do you make money in the meantime? If you want to charge more and you say, look, for my one-to-one time, I'm not going to work with anybody unless they pay me $500 an hour. Unfortunately, for most trainers, if you're just starting out, no one's going to pay you that unless you become specialized and unless you start getting better and better results. So a lot of the times I utilize this thing called the flagship system, the program, where I would say, okay, I'm going to build out my own transformation course. I'm going to take everything out of my brain. I'm going to put it into a step-by-step series and a course. I'm going to enroll guys into that course who want to lose fat, who want to become strong and lean, who don't want to become huge. They want to become strong, lean, and muscular. And I want to show them how to do that over the weeks of a 16-week course or a 16-week program. But the whole methodology here is even if they don't have me one-to-one, I can literally take everything out of my brain and put it into theirs. And that allows me the ultimate formula to scale, which means if I have somebody sign up, they don't necessarily take up any more of my one-to-one time, right? So I'm still charging $500 an hour for any person that wants to take that up, when I know that when I'm starting out, nobody's going to pay me that much because I have no name, I have no brand. So who in their rightful mind would pay $500 an hour, right? That's cool. But what if I said, look, for $500, you can get access to my brain. Everything that I've learned over the last 10 years inside of my brain, I put out inside a step-by-step course. Not only that, you're going to get everything I've learned, the tens of thousands of dollars I've invested, the tens of thousands of hours I've invested to figure this system out. I've laid it out in a system. For $500, you can get that. And you can join a community of men inside of a group, inside of a forum, and we'll be helping you that way. And so right at this very moment in time, I'm able to amplify my time, because if I get somebody to sign up to this $500 program, I add them to my course, they start digesting everything inside of my brain, and ultimately I can start answering their questions and their queries before, when it starts to pop up inside of the Facebook group. So with that being said, that method, that way, was completely awesome. It allowed me to scale. It allowed me the freedom to really take on one-to-one clients who saw the value in me. I was able to charge an exorbitant amount, and everybody else who couldn't afford that, they were sold into the $500 program. So really, that's what I want you to get thinking and start to think about today is, how do you really leverage yourself? Because if you're an online coach, if you're looking to coach people all around the world, then you're going to struggle with this time for money thing, because you then become the bottleneck. You only have 100 hours a week, right, to work. So if you have 100 hours a week and you're charging $50 an hour, the max you'll ever make is $5,000. But what happens, and that's assuming that you've got people paying that much and they're paying you that much every week. That's the best case scenario. So whereas if you put it inside a flagship system and you take out your own memory card and you sell the program for $500, then it's just a matter of time of how many people can you get onto this program, onto this system that they're trying to sell, that you're trying to sell to them. And ultimately, if you do have any one-to-one people that actually want to work with you one-to-one, then they can actually work with you one-to-one and you get paid what you're worth. Now remember, using this system, you have to ultimately, 1, deliver awesome value. Number 2, be the best at what you do, or be committed to being the best. And number 3, you just have to have so much goodwill and do some really, really cool stuff inside of the marketplace. So with that being said, I want to share this with you because I know that there are some trainers that I get asked every single day, look, how am I going to leverage myself? How do I build a business? And most personal trainers, most coaches, most fitness and health professionals are stuck inside of their business. They're stuck in a job that they can't leave. And once you understand this, once you understand this style to leverage, then the game will completely change. So if you want to know more about this, what I've got for you is I've got a cheat sheet that I've put up. It's a 5-step cheat sheet to launching a business like this. If you reach out to me on Facebook, I think you need to go to facebook.com/Coach Lin, or I am Lin, or whatever my name is. Find me if you've got me on Facebook, find me there, or inside the Online Trainers Club. If you send me a message, what I'll happily do is I'll shoot you through this blueprint, this PDF file, and it's going to give you the 5 steps to starting your business in how to get paid more, how to work with less clients, how to build a leveraged online business that you can actually grow and you're not working inside as much, how to deliver awesome goodwill to your marketplace, and how to get your clients results. If you want that cheat sheet, just what you need to do is pretty much as soon as this podcast finishes, or maybe now, stop over on the side of the road if you're driving like I am, and just find me inside the Online Trainers Club and hit me up with a message. Say, hey dude, I've listened to podcast episode 137. I want to do this business thing, so can you help me out? And I'll get my assistant, or I'll send that through if I'm on Facebook, and I'll hook you up. All right, well, with that being said, that is your one thing for today. Go and see how you can build something that's leveraged, an actual business that you can actually work on as opposed to you working in the business and being, tied to it and being the bottleneck of the business, which obviously isn't fun. All right, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll chat to you very, very soon.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.